Hello and welcome back everybody to the adventures of Estefania. So, I thought for a few seconds about the question, will I go out with Suzu and Naomi? Or will I stay and help around the house? And then I remembered that I hate these fuckers. And I like Suzu. And you know, Naomi in the beginning a little bit, she was a little bit wacky and, you know, not friendly. But I'll take her over these idiots anytime. So what is even the question? I'll go out with Suzu and Naomi. The party may be a disaster. That is actually a good point. The party may be a disaster. I didn't think about that part. I only thought about the fun part. That is actually not so good, party being a disaster now, is it? Wisdom! Come and help my brain work. Shit. It's probably more useful if I'll... but I wanna have fun.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm totally sure. I'm sure. I trust these guys to be able to work everything out.
Thank you for trusting us, miss.
Oh no, I do not trust you, but I just want to enjoy myself.
We'll have everything done for you by the time you return home.
Oh, and I especially do not trust you.
Alright, we'll wait here while you go get your things.
I was strangely relieved to know that everything was going to be okay while I was gone from the house. I trusted the guys enough to do everything they could for this house party, so my mind focused itself on hanging out with my friends. Yay! Eventually, I was out the door, walking towards Naomi's car with Naomi and Suzu. Suzu grabbed the entire back seat as I took the passenger side. Naomi started the car and drove off towards the city. It was nice driving out with my friends. After all that had happened, it was good to just go out and forget my troubles.
Well, since we got you out of the house, we might as well go to the mall and walk around a bit. We did just eat breakfast after all.
Yeah, good idea. I love that. Yeah, that was a good meal though.
Could have had more flavor in my opinion.
Yeah, give it to them. These idiots can't do anything right. You're totally right, Suzu.
Suzu, you eat chili peppers when you're bored. Everything you eat always needs more flavor.
And what's the problem? Don't you bitch at my girl. I still can't get over that, Suzu. You need to teach me, Suzu. You know, I'm all for Suzu, but in reality I probably would go with Naomi in this case. I'm so sorry.
You never eat spicy things, Anderson. You don't know how it feels.
Anyways, after the mall, what do you want to do? We could go to the Pink Lady Cafe and chill out with Kay. I'm sure she'd love the company.
Question, who is Kay?
But we have to stop by the arcade. They have this new game out called Orion. You get to control this guy named Isaku, and you're part of the rebel forces, and you get to shoot things, and there's robots, and...
I swear to God this is a reference I don't get.
Sheesh, we get it, Suzu, we get it. We'll go to the arcade.
Yeah, like cool people. Huh, then Naomi. And your stupid ideas, Pink Lady Cat Cafe or something. Which one first though? You know how popular Kay is. She'll be swamped with customers later in the day.
I'd rather go in the late afternoon. She has better options during the last hour of the cafe.
That sounds depressing, but realistic.
So basically after the arcade?
You figured me out so quickly, Patterson.
What did I tell you about using my last name?
Well, let's go to the arcade, the cafe. You know, in general, I'd like both. Like, I like cafes, I like arcades. Even though I've never... Yeah, probably... If you have watched me play video games, you probably realize by now that I'm not a hardcore gamer or something like that. And I've never been to an arcade. Now, I don't even know if my city ever in its entire existence even had one. Like, when arcades were big in the US and stuff like that, I basically just played Game Boy. And I don't know if they were even a thing that much in Germany. I have to look that up. Anyway, yeah, I'd go to both. I actually always wanted to go to an arcade. And yeah, cafe sounds cool too though. But we'll go to the arcade, because in this case it's like, if I'm for both, I'll go with Suzu. So we headed to the mall and walked around for a good amount of time before driving out to Moonfall Arcade. As weird as the name sounded, the arcade was one of the best arcades in the city. Kids and teenagers lined the games, watching the players at the consoles as they anxiously waited to have their turn.
Oh, there it is!
Suzu grabbed Naomi and me by the hands before dragging us to a section of the arcade where a bunch of kids had gathered in awe and excitement. In the middle of the crowd was a large game with 2 joysticks, platforms, and a screen that flashed the name Orion every other second. In the background of the screen, a holographic playfield glimmered before us, revealing a neo-futuristic battlefield and an enemy robot charging right at the camera.
This is the game you were excited about?
Yeah, well, did she say something like that at shooting at robots and stuff? Naomi, you need to listen better to your friends. It looks really cool.
That's right! And I'm gonna play it so hard I'll beat the game in one shot.
Yeah, I doubt that though. Suzu smirked and looked at me, hoping that I would join her as I usually did for partner games. I looked to Naomi, who merely rolled her eyes, crossed her arms, and gave me the okay nod. I grinned before nodding to Suzu, who cheered in joy.
Woohoo! Alright, let's do this.
Not gonna lie, I like the voice actor of Suzu a lot. Like, she really captures the over-the-top spirit that Suzu has. I mean, she's an over-the-top character. And I think the voice actor does that very well, I gotta say. Like, she's my favorite voice actor in my, in this game, hands down, by far. By far. Not that the other ones are bad though, I think this game is pretty solidly voice acted. It took us a good half hour before we were able to step up to the platforms. The point of the game was to beat the government and restore freedom to the general public. Ah, pretty deep plot for such a game. We played as rebels in a robot. As rebels in a robot? Aha. Oh, like Megazord with Power Rangers, I see. And the game quickly became a smash and bash game versus multiple enemy robots. Ah, wrong button, my bad. Playing with Suzu was always an adventure. We both knew what our strengths and weaknesses were. Weaknesses. I make even THs where there are none. So it was easy to collaborate with each other. It wasn't long before we got into the swing of the game and were beating enemies like crazy. By the time we got to the boss, we were unstoppable. It was so refreshing to beat the boss and put our 3-letter code names into the high score list.
And that is how you game. We are unstoppable, Anderson.
Booyakasha, baby! Suzu gave me a large smile, which made me smile back. I was happy to be able to hang out and have fun with my friends like this. I felt free from worries or responsibilities. It was something I loved. We eventually lost track of time and wound up staying longer than we expected, making us unable to stop at the cafe before going home to dress for the housewarming party. Oh, that kinda sucks. That actually wouldn't happen. When I'm out with 3 friends and we said we'll do this and this, one of the 3 was promised something, then we'll do that. Because otherwise it's shitty. So we drove back. Naomi and Suzu picked up clothes and other necessities from the houses before driving me back to the mansion. The hour of the house party had arrived. In my mind, I kept double and triple checking the essentials for the party. Knowing my dad, he invited his business partners and the executives of the Anderson Company to show me off. I stood in front of my mirror in my room, staring at my form as a million thoughts ran through my mind. It was just a housewarming party, but at the same time it wasn't. So, did you check if they did everything right? Or does that not matter? Or did they just do everything right? Maybe these dudes are better than I thought. It was my chance to show my dad that I was better than his expectations. It was a chance for me to see my parents as a woman. Like an adult woman. I was like, what? What perverted shit is going on now? It was my test to see if I was really ready to live on my own. Well, not truly alone. I had the incubi to thank, but even so, I didn't have my dad guiding me or my mom helping me through living alone. A knock on my door broke my thoughts, surprising me. I hope you instructed them to stay, like, in a room where nobody goes to. Who is it?
Hey, are you okay in there? Your parents should be here soon, so you should hurry getting ready.
Well, I'm ready, but...
But what? I'm sure you look fine, Anderson. Just come on out.
All right. Well, I gotta say, Suzu, you have to work on your evening gown. What the fuck are you wearing, Estefania? This... What is this? First of all, Naomi, light pink, not really your color. Gotta say, not really your color. And I'm not the biggest fan of the gigantic lobe in front of your belly. But at least you tried. Like, what are you wearing, Suzu? This is a housewarming party. For elitists, you could have at least tried. And I don't even want to start with you, Estefania. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Like, one shoulder down? Are you in a strip club? Really, I don't even have words. I don't even have words for this. Karl Lagerfeld would be very angry. Do people know Karl Lagerfeld? That is a very good question. Leave in the comments down below if you know Karl Lagerfeld. Anyway. As soon as I opened the door to the hall, I watched as Naomi and Suzu's faces turned from smile to complete awestruck stares. What?
Dude, you look hot.
No, she looks slutty.
Yeah, you look amazing. Where did you get that dress?
In the strip club. I've had it for a while. I just never had the chance to wear it. I figured I might as well bring it out now. Everything except Eric acceptable. I stepped out of my room and closed my bedroom door behind me. As I walked down the hall to the grand lobby, the incubi stood waiting for me at the bottom, all dressed to the nines as proper servants.
Whoa, they really know how to dress well, don't they?
So they don't know how to survive in the world, and they don't know what possession and a house is or a mansion. But they do know how to dress properly. In this time of era, if they were now dressed like 1789, because that is how you dress in their castle. You remember they have a castle? I'd say fine. This, on the other hand, seems a little, oh well. I'm overly critical again. And Estefania said something, but I don't really care. I was slightly taken aback on how great the boys looked in uniform. Each had the poise of a perfect gentleman. Even Sam. You're not gonna lie. Like, Sam even has, like, how do you call that in English? The green thing. I have no idea how you call that in English. God damn it, me and the wrong button. I slowly began to climb down the steps with Suzu and Naomi behind me. The boys watched as I descended the staircase, one step at a time, like knights, waiting for their princess. You watch too many Disney movies. I felt my face slightly flush, but I quickly shook my head to try and regain my thoughts. As I reached the last step, James offered his hand out to me and walked me down the final step, smiling.
As beautiful as a princess, miss.
Thank you.
So, are you prepared for tonight?
Yes, I'm ready. As ready as I'll ever be. To be honest, no. If it was me, I'd say either A or B. As ready as I'll ever be. To be honest, like... it depends. It really depends. If I knew James well, I'd probably say as ready as I'll ever be. But you know, I don't really know James that well. On the other hand, he's a jackass, as all these incubi are. So as ready as I'll ever be. I couldn't... My reasoning. Pure smartness. I couldn't deny that I was nervous, but I had to try. This party was more than what it seemed, and I had done all that I could to prepare for it. There we go. Now it was all up to fate. Actually, we didn't do that much. Most of the work did, like, the incuba, but okay. I digress. The other boys smiled assuringly at me, which made me feel a little better about everything. I looked at my phone and marked the time. Almost right on cue. The doorbell rang. I gulped. I could practically feel my dad's aura from behind the door. Sam and Eric quickly rushed to the door and opened the double doors wide to reveal my parents, both dressed in their best. Hey, finally we see the mother. Oh no, wait, we already saw the mother, now I remember. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Oh my, I didn't know your bequeathment came with servants.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
It was probably overlooked. Besides, who would deny good service?
I was completely shocked. My parents didn't question the boys? They didn't ask for verification or anything? I looked to the boys and noticed Sam and Eric staring intently at my parents. Were they using their powers on them? In this case, I'll give you a go. They had to be. There was no way they'd be okay with this otherwise.
I guess the servants counted as belongings to the house.
Jesus. You're a slave trader, man, but, doesn't surprise me too much. My mother quickly rushed to me and gave me a large hug. I hugged her back, inhaling her perfume. It had only been a couple days, but living away from the ones who raised me was hard. My mother soon let me go and looked at my outfit.
Gorgeous. You look so lovely. David, look at your daughter and tell her I'm right.
I looked to my dad, who was looking around the lobby like an inspector. I stood my ground, waiting for him to look at me. When he did, he let a small smile grace his lips.
Your mother's right. You look like you're all grown up.
I'm still not a fan of the dress, though. Like, what is up with this half and half shoulder thing? It looks ridiculous. I mean, it's probably how you wear stuff like this these days, but, like, come on. Come on. I'm the player. I can say whatever I want. Ha! I'm the master of the universe. Feel free to complain in the comments. The world around me stopped as my heart pounded hard in my chest. Did my dad just compliment me? On his own accord? My mother was grinning ear to ear at his words. I was beyond speechless. Thank you, Daddy. However, his cold face quickly returned as he began to look around once again.
I assume that you're ready, then, to impress the rest of the guests, correct?
What do you mean?
The entire board from Anderson Toys is coming tonight. Even the vice chairman's son will be coming. All of them will be measuring your potential.
My potential?
To become CEO of the company.
I knew it. Something was off about tonight, and now this party had become much more than I anticipated. I gulped silently, but I nodded in response. I looked to the incubi, but they were continuing to be servants for my father's approval. I looked behind me and saw Naomi and Suzu raise their thumbs at me for encouragement. I let out a small breath before feeling my body accept the situation. I felt a weight in my gut, but I had to hide it. As if time zoomed forward, all of a sudden the main hall of the lobby was full of guests. Men and women in formal or business attire showed up to meet me and see my new home. I didn't expect many to come, but I was once again surprised that night. I shook hands with many officials and executive members, putting on the professional face my dad trained me to have. I felt overwhelmed, but I hid it well behind a small smile and handshake. Many even asked me questions. I tried my best to reply as maturely as possible. I had to remember, say what they want to hear, not what you want to say.
So, how do you feel living on your own at such a young age?
Could be better, to be honest. Best answer. It's difficult being independent. I wish I was still living with my...
I'm so sorry about your grandfather passing away.
Hey, I didn't answer yet. Oh, it's a time thing. It's been okay, I guess. I'm doing my best. It's been pretty good, actually. I'm doing my... asshole. I didn't read the question. No. We're doing this again. I'm doing my best. It's been pretty good, actually. Well, it's been pretty good, actually. Yeah.
I'm so sorry about your grandfather passing away. It really hit all of us hard.
Okay. Here we go. Sorry, but I don't want to talk about that. Thank you for your condolences. Yeah, that sounds good.
Do you have college plans?
There's a possibility. I mostly live in the present, so much that's a possibility. I don't need that. It's kind of up in the air, you see. Yes, I do. Just say yes, I do. Wait a minute. I didn't hear the last question, so yes, I do. I felt like the questions came up one after another. It was tough to answer some of them because they weren't about me. They were about the company.
What do you think will will happen with the company now that your grandfather has passed?
Good question. Let me answer. It's hard to say. Don't ask me. That depends on who runs it, I guess. I really don't care. It will get it back on track soon, of
What do you
course.
think of the philanthropic policy the company has?
I don't even know what that means. It's okay. I don't really pay attention. If it's a policy, that's a. It would have to me. It would be. Would be more with making profits. Yeah, my own values.
Do you think the company should expand from just toys?
It's a possibility. Why not? Eventually, the question stopped, and I was back to being myself. Naomi and Suzu were mingling in the crowds, and the incubi were doing their jobs, so I was all alone in a room full of strangers. I gotta say, you got to slow this down if you want me to actually answer this. Oh, we're already over 20 minutes. I actually wanted to make this episode shorter. So I'll have a pretty busy week this week. Not next week, but this week. So I'll make shorter episodes, and I'll record this all now, like in a row, a few of different series, so that I have something to upload in any case, you know. Because I don't want to not to upload anything. At least one episode per day should be something I go for. But I guess I can do 2 a day. I'll try to. And maybe this week won't be as busy as I think. We'll see. So thank everybody for watching. Come back for the next episode. The game is picking up. This episode was actually interesting. So thumbs up. And yeah, I'll see you then. Bye bye.